Hi there, welcome to the Ecofinar Financial Channel. My name is Philip, and as usual, I'll be talking something about finance, investment, and the economy. Today, I will be talking about MTN's recently released half-year results. And let me state here clearly, as always, that this is not in any way a recommendation of that stock. We'll just talk about the general performance of the company. I will talk about the risk and the general outlook, and then you can make your decision. But in case you're willing to, buy the shares of the company, we will recommend that you do your own due diligence, do your own research before making any such investments. So today we welcome you to this channel, and what we'll be talking about is the results of MTN for the first half of the year and what the drivers of that growth are. Then we'll also talk about the dividends the company has declared, and then we'll look at the general outlook. We'll talk about the risk, and then that's how we'll close it on this edition of the on this channel. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you are yet to do so, so that you can get regular content on finance, investments, and the economy. So let's go straight into it. So MTN has released its unaudited results for the first half of 2022, and it shows that the company's revenue increased by almost 20% to 947.9 billion naira. That's just for the first half of the year, first 6 months of the year. That's close to a trillion naira in revenue for just one half of the year. That's an impressive result, no matter how you look at it, and it's even a record. It means that the company is on track to finish with as much as 1.9 trillion naira if the performance currently continues. Uh, and in fact, it won't be a surprise if they hit 2 trillion naira if the second half of the year presents a more favorable business environment. And when you look at the profit after tax, it's high. It's at 181.6 billion naira for the first half of the year. When compared to the same period in 2021, that's a 28.1% increase. That's massive, no matter the standard you want to look at it from. And if you look at what are the factors driving this growth, see that they were able to increase the number of mobile subscribers in the first half of the year by 5.7 million, 5.7 million subscribers. And it's in the data that you see that they are experiencing increasing growth in data. They were able to grow the active data users by 2.5 million people, subscribers, which is like a 13.2% increase compared to the first half of 2021. And now, of course, they are actively involved in the fintech space, and they recorded an increase in active fintech subscriber by 87.3%. If we look at the figures, you see that they now have 4.2 million registered users of the Momo wallet, which is their main fintech product. And recently, they received the payment service bank license. So Momo Bank is the subsidiary that is driving that. So they had 4.2 million registered voters since its launch in May 2022. That's massive. With about maybe about more than half of that um, active users of that platform, which is very good. There are other parameters, but we limited this to this because of time. As per dividends, they've continued their tradition of declaring dividends twice in a year. This time, they've declared dividends of 5 naira 60 kobo per share for the just that's the interim dividend for the first half of the year. That's an increase of about 23.1% compared to the 4 naira 55 kobo they declared as dividend in the first half of 2021. That's also massive. And of course, those who are shareholders can continue to enjoy that benefit. So, what's the general outlook? So there's one interesting thing about the results, and it's in the fact that again, MTN is spending a lot on capital expenditure. And now, for those who really are interested in the long term, uh, This is very impressive because when the company spends a lot of money on capital expenditure, it means they are positioning themselves for long-term growth. And in the first half of 2022, MTN spent 311.6 billion naira on capital expenditure. That's an increase of about 67% compared to the same period in 2021. Now, when it's long term, they are positioning themselves really highly. And they say they are using the funds, they use the funds to increase their 4G coverage, 4G network coverage. It used to be around 65% in terms of coverage, but now it's more than 75% in terms of coverage of the entire population of Nigeria, which is massive. It won't be long before they are able to cover the entire populace with the 4G network. And not to talk about the fact that they are bringing on the 5G also. They've secured the license for the 5G operations, and that should also come into play anytime now. So they are positioning themselves, especially for the long term, and for anyone who is ready to be patient, that looks good. And the fact that they increase dividends, they continue to increase dividends, and they pay dividends twice a year, that's also something very good. So, and what are the other things that makes their outlook really good? It is that they delivered an impressive performance despite operating in a very tough business climate. It is in the same climate that companies are struggling due to inflation, rising costs, low disposable income of consumers, exchange rates fluctuations, exchange rates, that nobody really understands what's happening to it, and it's in the same environment that MTN is delivering this kind of fantastic results. That, for me, is very impressive. But again, we always talk about the risk. One of the major risks remains the regulatory risk. There's always the risk that there can be a policy by government that can disrupt businesses, that can affect the general flow of the company. That is always a given. And then there was also something very interesting that happened when MTN launched their payment service bank license in May, was that they were defrauded up to the tune of about 22.3 billion naira. There's high tendency that they will recover most of these funds because, of course, they've gone to the court to secure a court order to ensure that other banks where the funds were transferred to are able to return the funds back to them. But nobody knows how much. But that shows you that there's still a risk to the business, especially in the fintech space where they are quite new. They have immense opportunities, immense capabilities, but of course, there's always risk. So that's it today on this edition. We hope you found this interesting. If there's any question, you can ask in the comment section or also share other thoughts about the MTN business. Remember, this is not in any way a recommendation. It's just our thoughts and review about the company's first half-year results. So remember to subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back with you next time. See you there.